get this already started. All right, I'm going to open this meeting of the Nottingham Board of Selectmen for Monday, February 10th, 2020. And as we begin, will you all rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. All right. First item on the agenda, manifests.
I'll make a motion that we approve the accounts payable manifests of February 10, 2019, and the payroll manifest of February 11, 2019.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor? It's unanimous.
We need to have a conversation about these at all.
All right. Next item on the agenda, minutes. I believe we have minutes from our last meeting on the 27th.
Yeah, I make a motion to accept the minutes of 1/27/2020 as written. Second.
Any discussion? I didn't have any changes. No? All right, we have a motion and a second on the minutes. All in favor?
Oh, I'm sorry.
You in favor?
Yeah, sorry.
Okay.
Sorry.
All right, unanimous. The 27th. All right, next item, action items from last meeting, and according to the minutes, we did not designate any. So, moving on. Reports from assigned boards and committees, budget.
I was not able to attend.
Oh, okay. Did they meet since you presented the last draft of the budget? Did they meet
Yes, they did their public hearing last week,
on our budget?
on our budget.
Yep.
Went through the whole thing, not really any public presence there on the budget. There was some folks interested in the land use change tax warrant article, which the budget committee touched on but didn't really do a whole lot with. They did all their recommendations on the warrant articles, amended the town budget by a couple $1,000 and recommended it.
What area did they adjust? I forget. I know you told us, but I can't remember.
Conservation Commission and the regional planning line that kind of falls with the planning board. Got cut by $1,000 or so.
Was that, regional planning, is that a concern at all?
No, we've got the planner in place, so, and haven't identified what that line would have been used for. It's just kind of always
Okay.
been there. They, things come up and they need help.
Yep.
So we'll be okay with what they recommended.
Okay.
That's it for budget? Chris?
Yes.
That's all you have for budget, okay. All right, next, planning board?
Wasn't at the planning board, I have one this Wednesday
Okay,
night.
here you go. All right, CIP?
Nothing, we were done our work
Okay.
after the last
Okay.
time we met.
Were you gonna throw something together for us to review on that?
I think I sent you the summary.
You sent it to me or to the board?
No, I sent it to everybody.
Okay, all right, I'll look for it. There wasn't anything significant that you felt worth highlighting? Okay. 300th?
300th, we met last Thursday, going over ways they can offset the cost of the celebration by raising funds in several different ways. So they're moving ahead and they're gonna be busy for the foreseeable future.
Okay. Is there anything that you foresee them coming to us for help with? Or they
I hope not.
pretty much got a direction?
Yeah, they got a direction, yep. Gonna try to put an ad book together, get sponsors,
Oh, an ad book?
Yeah.
Okay.
and we're doing some other things, a basketball tournament, paint night,
Yep.
so.
And I saw the cookbook
Cookbook is,
content is all finalized
yeah,
now?
they have all the recipes they can take.
Okay. So they don't need my roast woodchuck?
Yeah.
No? Okay. Perfect. All right, and Marston?
Nothing new. We have a meeting coming up in the next 2 weeks.
Okay. Nothing new on the partnering with NYA?
No,
Or
not
you'll
since,
probably
not
just-
since the last time we talked to you.
Okay. All righty then. Next item, town administrator report.
Not a lot for you. We're ready for tomorrow. Polling place is set up. Polls are open from 7 to 7 at the school. I think you all have your individual schedules worked out with them. I think it's all over but the voting.
How'd the setup go?
It's all right.
Who helped?
Rec department, ladies from our office, supervisor of the checklist. A couple firefighters helped us get some stuff over there. Was the only truck available today with, Public Works was out.
Yeah.
With frozen roads, so, we scrambled, got through it. So, that's that. The boiler replacement in this building's done. You notice that it's comfortable.
It
It
is.
is.
It is.
Wow.
Mention it.
I'm only
It has
wearing
been-
one sweater
It has
tonight.
been comfortable, for a week or so. And everything, we're gonna keep fine tuning it with the installer, but wanted to kind of get the building back up to temperature this week before
Yeah.
really working it too hard. But it took, that's essentially 3 days, by the time we got through the whole thing. But all's well that ends well.
Good.
And your next meeting, 2 weeks from tonight, is 2 public hearings on the 2 petition warrant articles and other town meeting prep. Other than that, you don't have much on your radar to finish out your year. We can always come up with stuff, but I think
Yeah.
you probably don't want to start anything new.
Yeah. We'll have some personnel stuff for next time.
So wait, we've got 2 meetings between now and town meeting?
No, just one.
Just one, in 2 weeks, that's it. Okay.
All I got.
That's all you got? All right, moving on to general business. Post the town meeting warrant. All right, so what's the normal process we go,
So, you by law have a drop dead date of when to post the warrant to show the voters what is going to be dealt with at town meeting. That deadline is not actually imminent, but our publication deadline to get the town report printed
Yep.
is imminent. So that's what's, has moved this up a little bit. If your meeting schedule was a little bit different, we would have probably done this a little bit later, but, so what your formal role here is to approve the warrant that we've been working toward here since the budget season started, really. Set the order of the warrant articles in which, the order in which they will be dealt with at the meeting, and for those things with an appropriation, you are required to make a recommendation to the voters, which appears in the text of the warrant articles. I think they're penciled in there or copied and pasted in there as 5-0 from, pretty much from last year, but you have to
Yeah.
re-up on those
Yeah.
recommendations. With those recommendations in hand, we will produce a document that you will sign, and that will go into the town report and be sent to DRA and published and all that stuff. What we'd like to do is get your recommendations tonight We'll generate the document with those tomorrow and have you sign them while you're at the polls. We know you're all going to be around, so we'll have that document tomorrow. And that's really one of the last pieces we're waiting on to send the town report to the printer, so. That is what we need to accomplish tonight.
So the SB2 and the land use change tax, they require ballot vote. So that's private ballot box vote at town meeting.
Yes.
And so refresh my memory, I mean, can you open vote for one of those and then you can keep continuing with business as long as that voting is open?
Correct.
And the period of time that it has to be open?
One of them, I think it's the SB2 by law, the polls have to be open for an hour.
Okay,
Two other petition articles, the stormwater asset management, which I think is number 5 or 6? 6. And the change in the land use change tax petition warrant article. Those by law both have to be paper ballot by town meeting as well.
and the stormwater asset program has to?
As a borrowing item, it does.
Oh, interesting.
Yep.
Okay.
So we have 3 paper ballots at town meeting, which is a nuisance.
Yeah,
That's
And-
the secret ballot thing where
That's get in line.
Get in line
give
with
your
your-
name, get a,
with your
little shred of paper.
swab of paper.
Yeah.
Hand it in, et cetera.
Yep.
And be counted in parallel, while those things are going, while other things are going on, those, those will be open. The moderator will either wait for that hour to lapse and close the polls on the timed one, or will close the polls on her own once she's given the room a chance to vote.
okay,
And, so what we've proposed here is to stagger those out. You see there, the 3 ballot votes are spread throughout the warrant, not for any reason other than to allow other business to go on while
yeah,
those voting windows are open.
yeah. Yeah.
Because you don't, I think the worst thing that would happen would be, you'd be at the end of the meeting waiting for paper ballots to be counted to adjourn the meeting and find the results of a warrant article. You want to,
Yeah.
want to get to the end
Yeah,
and be done.
Am I allowed to ask questions?
No, we're not open for public comment right now. Sorry.
You know where to find me, Tom. You can, yeah.
yeah, and I mean, the operating budget has to go first, so I think you've done a good job of trying to spread it out.
Yeah, it looks good.
Hey, Chris, the one, I'm either completely spacing or I missed the meeting about the stormwater asset program. Can you just refresh? me
Yeah,
on
so
that
we
one?
glazed over that at some point. This is a grant, essentially a grant program that we applied for and were selected for. The grant is set up as a loan with principal forgiveness. Rather than just write you a check, they loan you the money and hold that over you to make sure that you finish the work. If you finish the work, they forgive the principal on
Okay.
the loan. So that could take a year and a half. There could be a small interest payment while that principal is outstanding. We don't have to make principal payments while the work's ongoing.
Okay.
And most of the work will be done in 2020. What the project is, this is through the Department of Environmental Services. What the project is twofold. It is first and foremost to identify and locate on a GIS map the location, condition, size, material, expected lifespan of all our culverts under all the town roads and the swales alongside them, the drainage swales. The objective there is to, first of all, get them all on a map. We don't have, believe it or not, we don't have a map of where all the culverts are in town.
Yeah,
We have
yeah.
people that know where they are. Yeah, we have people that trip across them as they're working on the roads. But we've just never had such a thing. We don't know how big they are. We don't know what they're made of. We don't have any quantitative anything on that. Those are really an essential part of the road network. They're, the drainage swales and the culverts are what keep the roads.
Yeah.
So,
Can that, just by definition, can that include for example, the cisterns and the ponds that collect rainwater to supply the fire trucks.
Yeah,
Because
we'll grab we may have the dry hydrant locations, GIS, we may not.
Yeah, I remember the chief
but I
saying
can-
at one point that, like, between all of them, they know where they are, but they don't have it charted out anywhere.
Yeah, that's actually relatively easy. There's only 7 or 8 of them.
Oh, okay.
I can do that in a day, that's easy. So that becomes you combine that with the other GIS work that we're doing, like the road surface management study and the other stuff we've been doing with DOT maps, that completes the road package,
Yep.
all in GIS, which has been a 3 or 4 year effort that, it sets up. So then it sets up, okay, where are our worst, you identify where your worst spots, what do we need to be thinking about, how do we time the work on our culverts with the other work on the roads? One of the things we want to do is get, ideally you're doing culvert work, if not the year of major road work, the year before, you get through some freeze-thaw cycle and do major work on the road. It sets up just a quantitative, logical approach to maintaining culverts and swales. Second thing this whole thing is going to do is it becomes the platform for work management, work orders, tracking of where are we doing what work, what time and materials are we doing in which locations. So the engineer's going to give us a platform to do that on, teach our guys how to use it. There'll be a couple of tablets, simple work order form stuff that our frontline people can use. Either, I was here and I put down, 20 yards of this and it, on this date, or I found this problem, I can put problems in and Sean can see, okay, we heard about this problem, rank it, create work orders. That's not really the point of the grant, but
one of the side benefits.
it's a side benefit. The engineer that we've selected has built that into what we get out of it. So that's really the last piece of trying to answer the question, where are we spending our money?
That's awesome. Yep.
Where are our problem spots? So if we make it simple enough to use, it'll work for everybody. It's in use in other places, the same kind of setup. It's a Google Docs based thing. It's not buy a fancy new piece of software
Yep.
arrangement. We'll get it to work with our other GIS stuff. This is not big city stuff, but it's
gonna be
what
good,
the big
though.
cities do. Yeah.
will we end up with like downloadable GIS data sets for
Oh, yeah.
people that like to do that research on their own?
Yeah, we won't have it, I'm not sure how the public presentation will end up, but it's certainly something that if somebody asked for something, we'd be able to generate it. It may not all be right at the public's fingertips at that granular level,
Yeah.
but it's certainly, we could certainly get at it. It's our data, we'll own it, we're not buying into some new fancy schmancy system, it's just using what's out there already. Or using software that we already have. So.
That's
anyway,
great.
That was a long way to go.
No,
but
that's
that's what this is. I don't have any worry that we're not gonna finish the work. We'll finish the work. The engineer's doing most of the work. We'll get,
Yeah.
in all likelihood, we will get the principal forgiven. So it's virtually free to make this leap forward.
Nice.
This is typically a grant that's used for cities and towns with closed systems, stormwater drains that work into their water treatment
Yep.
systems. We're the first that's been selected that doesn't have that closed system. We're just doing culverts and swales, and they haven't done that before, so we're getting a little bit more attention from DES, I think, but we're a little bit of a guinea pig in that. It's something that Sean's been through in another community. He knows the engineer and, went out and grabbed this 6 months ago.
Nice.
So.
So, I mean, Other than the fact that we have three or we have three articles that have to go to secret ballot, I mean, the rest of the stuff is pretty routine.
Yeah, everything that you are proposing has been done before, with the exception of that stormwater thing.
Yep.
The petition
Yep.
articles are different.
Yep.
But,
The ones we have to paper ballot, you said, Chris, were stormwater, SB2, and what's the other one?
the land use change tax,
Oh, okay.
Yep.
call that up here.
Yep.
What was the first one?
Stormwater asset management.
Land use change tax, that came up like in the last couple of years and failed, right? Was it 2 years ago?
No, it came up, 11, 12, 13, 10, 11, 12, I think were the last times we saw that.
Really?
I think so.
Wow.
It's
Okay.
come up, different iterations, caps, limits on the percentage.
Okay, right,
The percentage has changed a couple times. It went up, it has not come back down.
right. Okay,
Not a new subject for those of you
Right.
that have been around for
yep, exactly,
7 or 8 years.
yep. Okay,
So like you said, our focus is the ones that have the appropriation, so,
and you're looking for votes tonight,
Yes.
okay.
so that's Article 5 for the operating budget. Article 6, Stormwater Asset Program. Article 7, that's our standard appropriation for the ambulance. Article 8 is our standard appropriation for the fire vehicle reserve fund. Article 10 is our appropriation for continuing work on Ledge Farm Road. Ledge Farm? Ledge Farm, yep. And this particular one, it says other roads in Nottingham, and I know they voted that clause out last year. Do we want to leave this as is, or?
That's up to you. We can take it out, or you can let town meeting do that if they choose.
I'd let the town do that.
Yeah,
I agree.
yeah.
I agree.
We'd prefer the flexibility, but.
Right, right. Article 11, that's our standard appropriation for the Highway Truck Reserve Fund. Article 12 is our standard appropriation for the revaluation. Article 14 is our standard appropriation for the Tricentennial Trust Fund. Article 15 is our standard appropriation for the Invasive Species Trust Fund. And after that, 16, 17, 18, those are all petition articles. So there's nothing out of the ordinary in here. Anybody want to discuss any of these in particular, or otherwise we can just vote them all at once and get it over with?
All right, let's make this easy. I'll do the first one, Ben, you do the second, Tyler, you do the third, and we'll keep going that way, all right?
Okay.
There's no,
You can do them en masse. You don't have to do
oh,
them
we can do them
individually.
in mass?
That's what I'm
Somebody
saying.
wants to talk about
Oh, I didn't realize
I
we
just
could
want-
do them in mass.
Yeah, I mean, we can vote once to approve all the articles, since there's nothing,
Oh, okay.
we're not doing anything differently
I
than
thought we had to read them individually and, okay,
we will at town meeting.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
not
Yeah.
for this.
all right.
So we can vote to approve them all at once unless anybody wants to.
Well, I'd like to talk about Article 11 a little
You
bit.
want to talk? Okay, we can do that.
Is there a particular vehicle in mind in which you're thinking about replacing? What's the next one?
11 is highway.
Yep,
No specific replacement in mind. This is a build up the bank account again. The CIP has a utility truck for next year in the CIP, but that's another, we gotta decide that, take the money, town meeting's gotta take the money out. It's, we would put a deposit in that reserve account, probably of that size, whether we had a truck plan for next year or not. That's the pace that we've been at.
What's the status of the fund now? Has it been drained?
Yeah, it's, the dump truck this year just about emptied it,
Okay.
yeah.
And are we still in the mindset that the next, if it's a large truck, we're gonna continue with that size truck? Or have there been any thoughts about downsizing or not replacing a truck and going towards other pieces of equipment?
The latest discussion we had about it was around the CIP, and that was, the plan in there is 1.5 ton utility like the one we bought last year. A year from now, are we gonna be looking at the grader and the loader and having to make another decision, recook a plan?
Of
Don't
course,
know.
that's all contingent on,
There's a lot of factors
Yeah.
over the next year that could drive our truck choice, right? And we could decide that we don't need to make a purchase next year and it sits in the bank and we keep growing for the next one, or,
but the utility truck is something separate.
no, the utility truck, in the CIP plan, and granted, we can change this in the
Yeah.
future, but in the CIP plan, the CIP has us buying a utility truck in 2021.
All right, so is that an addition, or is that to replace the 2012?
Well, the 2012 is gonna fall out from underneath us, so it's a replacement, whether we overlap for a year out of dumb luck,
Okay.
we'll run the 2012 into the ground, if we haven't already.
So,
I don't see us getting a smaller pickup, if that's the question here.
Okay.
That's not been considered in the CIP sense. The next smaller truck would be another 1.5 ton like we got in 2018, right?
yep,
That seems to be a good size. It seems to be working well. So that was the plan coming through the CIP process.
and this utility truck will have the same outfit, plow, sander as well?
It would be a plow and sander, yeah, the setup on it, who knows, but does us no good to own a truck without a sander and a plow, so.
Okay. That's all I had.
Okay. Any questions on any of the other articles? They're all the same as we've been doing for the past 3 years. Okay.
I'll make a motion that the select board vote to recommend Articles 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 14, and 15.
We have to take out number
Which one?
6.
No, we still
No.
vote on that.
Oh, okay, I thought
Yeah.
that one was a,
So 5 through 15.
No.
No, because there's one's missing. Lorraine,
So 5, 6, 7.
6 is the stormwater.
yeah.
Yeah, that recommendation will not appear with the warrant article. It's not an
Oh,
appropriation.
it's here, that's why I said
Yeah,
it.
well,
Okay.
that'll be coming out.
Oh, I'm sorry, 5, 6, 7, and 8. 10.
5 to 6. The stormwater one, yes?
Yep. 5, 6, 7, and 8.
Yep.
10, 11, 12, 14, and 15.
What was 12?
12 is the revaluation. We put a little money toward that every year so we don't hit the town with a big bill all at once every, 4 years, 5 years? 5.
So there's a motion. I'll second it, but for one discussion real quick.
Okay.
Article 15, that's not just for the lake, that's for the entire, like, roadsides and all that stuff too, invasive species?
Yeah, the way that is set up is, that's actually public water bodies
Okay.
is the use. So it's any public water body. We have 3 of those,
So
essentially.
the Japanese knotweed that we have on some of this is not covered under this?
Correct.
Okay, all right.
That'd be a highway department
Okay.
operating budget.
Well, that would be I would just as soon go after the state for that, because when they paved 152, they scraped that garbage all up and down the highway, and then gave us grief for not mitigating it. So, it's their mess, we'll deal with that another day. All right, so, is that
Yeah,
good?
that
All right,
is
so, we have a motion and a second on these warrant articles. All in favor? It's unanimous.
That's efficient.
Yep.
Yeah, it was.
You got a long day tomorrow.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do.
Oh, but it's gonna be so much fun.
Do we, this is what you're gonna have us sign
There'll be
tomorrow?
a Word document and that one as well, yes. You're gonna see two different things. There's a Word document that appears in the town report that we make available for people to walk into the meeting with. And we'll have some other stuff for DRA. This is all in pre-review with DRA right now. Where it's all kind of boilerplate on your warrant articles, we're not expecting anything to come back. Our attorney's seen it. You know, if we have Scrivener's errors or something, we may have to tweak something, but we're not expecting
Yep.
any snafus here.
And at the next meeting, we'll decide who's gonna present each warrant article at town meeting.
Yeah, or you can do that now. It will give you more time to,
Since
Prep,
John's not here, we could have.
I
him
think John should
present
do
all.
them all, yeah.
Way to break in the rookie. Did you get that, John?
If we, I mean, do you guys want to decide that tonight, or do you want to wait till next time?
I'd wait till next time.
Yeah.
If you're good with that.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
I'm good with that.
I mean, as fun as it would be to stick John with all the, all the ugly ones, we can wait. Okay, that works for me. All right, so is that it on warrant articles? All right. The other thing I had, just real quick, the summary, the draft summary for the town report, we just gotta give it a thumbs up. I don't think we need to vote on it, as long as everybody's okay with it. But I printed out the latest draft that we sent around today. And I did add the mention that you had suggested about the promotion,
Yeah, the only thing, Tony, is I'd like to just expand on that,
which,
promotion, and just say something that it's in recognition of the hard work and exceptional, you know, whatever, you know, the exceptional hard work and innovation that she's brought to the program.
do you want to slap a sentence on that and email it to us, like when you get home tonight?
Well, I think what I just said is, you know, it's in
Wait a
recognition
second, you know
of,
what? I got the original right here, so we can do that right now. Don't say the name out loud, though, let it be a surprise.
The name,
Okay,
the name for what?
I would just say, after this year, comma, in recognition of the hard.
oh, hold on, this year, comma, gotcha. Oops. The first paragraph under town personnel, in recognition of,
The hard work
recognition of the hard work
and innovation
and innovation
brought to the program.
brought to the, that's good, I like that.
That was the only thing I had.
Yeah, no, it's, no, it's good to highlight it like that, rather than having it come across as just something in passing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your coach should say that person's name or,
No, I want it to be a surprise.
oh, that's the dedication.
This is the dedication that's going in
No,
the,
no, it's not the dedication.
I'm sorry, the select board summary for the town report. The dedication is separate.
No, I
Yeah.
You're somebody is saying, did something neat, so you want, is that a person I can name?
Oh, that we're talking about now?
Yes.
Yeah, I want that to be a surprise.
you can read it in the annual report.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's fine, that's okay with me.
All right, so beyond that.
Beyond that, it's all good.
You like it?
Oh, yeah, what about this, the dedication of the book itself?
So,
I think it's.
so the person that we
Yeah.
were discussing,
Yep.
I did find someone who stepped up and did a little write-up and
Good.
got a couple pictures from the Sun. So, she said it's pretty much ready to go as is. I'm just gonna review it tonight. I'll send it to everybody. And then, I think we'll be,
And you thought we weren't gonna do it.
I chose my words very carefully.
well, the big, the kicker is that none of us knows the person, so you can't really, write a dedication for somebody you don't know, right?
Okay, moving on.
Moving on. All right, so we're all okay with this summary then, as is?
Yes.
Uh-oh. Been sending these out for days, so,
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah. Do we want to at least thank Jack for his services to the town after 34 years?
Yeah, we can do that too.
I mean, that's 34 years, I mean.
No, that's true, that's a long time. All right, so how do we wanna phrase that, well, and where?
Well, I can go on the town personnel, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, just like in between the retirements and the congratulatory note?
It's just retired
Did you mention?
last year.
Yes.
Yeah, so just
Yes.
go right after that.
Okay,
Yeah, it was 19.
Time just seems to like get home.
No, it was 2019, it was
It
early
was.
this year.
Okay, all right.
the second in the,
You should mention that too, if we're not gonna do something independent there, yeah.
oh, this fella? There's two names out of that department.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah, the latest and the previous.
okay.
Yeah. All right, so, okay, so how do we want to, I don't want it to sound like all the other sentences too. The board also thanks.
Or would like to thank Jack Myers for his 34 years of service. 34 years of commitment to the town of Nottingham. And we wish him well.
The board would also like to thank Jack Myers for his 34 years of commitment to the town of Nottingham. And we wish him well. And then finishing that with
Yep.
congratulate
Yep.
on her promotion.
Yep.
Okay. All right, that sounds good? Okay. There we go. I'll email this out to everybody when I get home, and that will be our final draft on the matter.
How's everything else coming in for the town report?
I think everything else is in.
Good.
Kelly was saying she's still getting financials even tonight, so she's got some more stuff to work on tomorrow, but no worries.
There's always worry.
So. Come on now, let's be optimistic. Okay, all right, so that's settled. The dedication, like I said, I will send that out later. And, okay, what's next?
Appointments.
Appointments. We don't have any appointments. Though we do have to go into non-public. So before we go into non-public,
Did you want to say?
any business anybody wants to bring forward tonight?
Yeah, I just had
Go, let her know who you are.
Hi, Thomas Budkevich, Washington Lane.
All right, thanks.
Just had a question and comment regarding the SB2, the way the law says it has to have the ballot open for an hour. And also, what order was that in, which article number that is?
It is Article 9.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was going to ask if there was any way to move it up into the morning, to be considered earlier, and then to have the ballot left open all day, since the point of the article is to give a vote to people that can't make it to town meeting. For instance, my girlfriend works all day on the weekend, and she's going to have to either take off the whole day, or we're trying to figure out if she can just take off a few hours to vote for this, as well as other people that can't spend 10 hours at town meeting. So I think considering that's what the warrant article is about, If we could make it, at least, know that there's a good block of hours that people, if they can't come all day, that they can come vote, rather than 1 hour for some mysterious part of the day.
I can answer make it longer. That is something that town meeting itself can do. This board can't do that. So the way to do that would be to propose it,
As a floor motion?
yeah, as a motion from the floor. I'd chat with the moderator ahead of time, just let her know that's coming, and so you're all on the same page about how you want to do that. It's not something that can be done in advance. But it is something the town meeting can do.
You
on
can
its
change
own.
the order at town meeting, except for the budget, right?
Correct.
And the zoning ordinances.
Well, those are on the
Before
ballot.
you.
Huh?
Those are on the ballot.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so the other thing you can do is, before we take up Article 6, you can, move to shuffle the agenda around, and we have a long history of doing that.
Yeah.
Also, something you should chat with the moderator ahead of time so she knows what's coming, but that is also something that's within the power of the meeting to do, so the meeting can do it. The moderator can't unilaterally do it at this point, but the meeting can do it. Make sense?
Chris, are there any considerations, given that there has to be 3 that go to ballot and having multiple ones open at the same time? 'Cause
That's why they're staggered. There's,
No, but if he's suggesting that one be open like longer, right, whatever the town timing is, does that mean you have to hold, or logistically, we would want to hold the other 2 off until the completion of that? I mean, I can't imagine it would be a smooth thing to manage, but, would you want to have 2 open at the same time?
Yeah, because if we move 9 before 6, then we'll have 2 ballot votes back to back.
Yeah,
it's possible. I think in a conversation with the moderator, you might talk about moving more than just one article at a time. Do it
Yeah.
all at once, so everybody understands what's happening. We're gonna use different colored pieces of paper, they'll have different checklists.
they'll have to be different,
ballot boxes.
they'll have to be different boxes.
Yeah, that's all gonna be ready to go.
Yeah, okay.
So it's all possible, it's ugly,
Ugly but
but it's
possible.
possible. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So, yeah, one possible thing you could do is,
You know,
Tom,
you could
oh.
flip to,
I was gonna say, yeah, you could possibly
Flip
move
6
to
and
flip
9.
6 and 9. So that way we preserve the staggering, we don't mess up the logistics, but it achieves what you're trying to do.
Definitely talk to the moderator, though, so she's not caught off guard.
Yeah.
yeah, there may be other considerations for the vote, for the supervisor, the checklist and all that stuff that I'm not up on, but the more they can be prepared, if town meeting does make that decision, the better. It'll be smoother for everybody, so, yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. All right, and before we go to non-public,
That's just for you to sign.
Just for me?
It's the census chasing their tail.
just a formality?
Yep.
Okay. Okay. So, and I can, when do you need this by?
Whenever.
Whatever.
Okay. I'll get it.
Whatever.
The work behind it is done. The boundaries of town haven't moved. We're certifying that the boundaries of town have not moved.
You haven't
For
really-
300
You haven't
and,
walked them?
Different problem.
yeah.
Actually, people used to walk them.
That's right.
Still required to by law.
I walked my property boundaries before I laid down a penny.
It's supposed, technically, the board's supposed to walk the town boundaries,
Really?
Yeah.
and they used to do it.
Still required to do it.
Technically, we should
Really?
be doing it.
The entire town?
Yes.
Yes.
All 4,
You
5?
with your neighbors. You and somebody from the neighboring town do it together.
Yep.
Every 10 years?
Really?
Yeah.
It was 5 years, but
I-
it was.
Nominate John.
Second,
Oh my God.
second.
Okay. All right, well, that's all we have for regular business tonight. We are gonna go into a non-public session for personnel is E? Or L?
It's not L. Probably E.
E, okay. Excuse me. So I will take a motion to enter non-public.
What was it? It was L?
E.
E.
I'll make a motion, we go into non-public per RSA 91, dash A, colon, 3, 2, E.
Second.
Roll call vote.
Aye, Tyler Eaton.
Aye, Ben Bartlett.
Aye, Tony Dumas.
Hi, Donna Danis.
Unanimous.
Good night, everyone.
Good night,
Night.
everyone.
Aye, Nottingham.
Motion in a second.
Motion,
Second.
second.
Just out of, when you